She shot me in the neck. It's okay, I think.
Does she still have the gun?
It's on the kitchen counter, I think.
A bunch of questions, but obviously you fired with a pistol, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
What is this?
So GSR, it shot. Which hand did you shoot with?
Okay.
All right.
Is my stepdad okay?
I don't know, baby. I can't talk to you about
Officer, here, I'm sorry.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Welcome back to Monsters Among Us. In today's episode, we delve into the chilling case of Carly Gregg, a seemingly ordinary teenage girl from Mississippi whose life took a sinister turn when she made an unimaginable choice to take the life of the one person who loved her unconditionally, her own mother. Join us as we unravel the twisted motives behind this shocking betrayal and the heartbreaking tragedy that shook an entire community to its core. Ashley Nicole Smiley was a vibrant 40-year-old educator whose path led her from Florida to Brandon, Mississippi, where she quickly became a well-respected figure in the local education community. Friends and colleagues described Ashley as outgoing, compassionate, and exceptionally bright, with a deep passion for teaching. However, her greatest commitment was to her daughter, Carly Gregg. With Carly's father largely absent, Ashley took on the role of both mother and father, pouring all her love, guidance, and support into raising her daughter. Their bond, strengthened by Ashley's unwavering dedication, seemed unbreakable. After years of navigating life as a single mother, Ashley met Heath Smiley, and the two quickly fell deeply in love. Before long, they were married, and Heath officially became Carly's stepfather. By all accounts, including Heath's, their family life appeared as ordinary and harmonious as any. Ashley was a dedicated algebra teacher at Northwest Rankin High School, the same school Carly attended. Outside of work, she cherished time with Heath, Carly, and their two golden retrievers. Ashley often spoke with pride about Carly's academic achievements, describing her as incredibly bright and committed to her studies. Watching Carly excel in school filled Ashley with immense joy, the kind of pride only a devoted mother could know. Although Ashley took great pride in Carly's academic success, their relationship was not without its challenges. One of their biggest sources of tension was Carly's choice in boyfriends, a decision Ashley strongly disapproved of. Things came to a head when Ashley discovered that Carly was secretly texting him, despite being told to end the relationship. In an attempt to stop the situation, Ashley confiscated Carly's phone. But, like many teenagers, Carly was determined to follow her own path. Defiant, she began secretly texting her boyfriend again, this time using burner phones to stay out of her mother's sight. What started as a typical mother-daughter conflict would soon spiral into something far more dangerous. By March 19th, 2024, the simmering tension between Carly and Ashley was about to reach its breaking point. This time, the stakes were higher than ever. While at school, Ashley received troubling news. Carly had been caught vaping substances, a revelation that pushed her mother to the edge. Furious and disappointed, Ashley immediately confronted Carly. As usual, Carly remained defiant, denying everything, but Ashley wasn't convinced. The air between them grew thick with distrust and frustration. Unwavering, Ashley made it clear that once they got home, she would search Carly's bedroom to uncover the truth herself. What happened next would change everything. Overcome with anger at the thought of her mother invading her personal space, Carly made a fateful decision. Fueled by a mix of resentment and defiance, she quietly slipped into the kitchen and retrieved a gun. Heart pounding and emotions boiling over, she followed her mother into the bedroom. Without hesitation, Carly raised the weapon and fired 3 shots, ending Ashley's life in an instant. The deafening silence that followed marked the shattering of their once unbreakable bond. But Carly wasn't finished. In a disturbing turn, she calmly walked back to the kitchen, gun still in hand. With eerie composure, she picked up her mother's phone and texted her stepfather, Heath, as if nothing had happened, casually asking, "When will you be home, honey?" In the aftermath, Carly made another chilling choice. She texted a friend for help, offering no details about the horror inside. When the friend arrived, Carly's demeanor was unsettlingly calm. Without hesitation, she asked, "Do you get squeamish around dead bodies?" Before leading them to the gruesome scene, her mother's lifeless body in the bedroom. Stunned and horrified, the friend barely had time to react before Carly convinced them to flee the house, leaving behind a trail of carnage and unanswered questions. At some point, Carly returned home, this time alone. She waited in silence, the air heavy with anticipation for her stepfather, Heath, to arrive. The minutes dragged on, and the house grew eerily still. Later, outdoor surveillance footage would show Heath pulling into the driveway, blissfully unaware of the nightmare that awaited him inside. As Heath stepped through the door and made his way toward the kitchen, a gunshot pierced the silence, instantly plunging everything into chaos. The next few moments blurred together, panic, pain, confusion. Struggling to comprehend what had just happened, Heath fought through the shock and agony to make one vital move. He called 911.
What daughter tried to shoot me? Your daughter tried to shoot you? Yeah. You ran out there shooting at me. Where's she at? She ran away. How old is she? 14. 14?
Heath had not only suffered a graze wound to the neck, but also discovered his wife's lifeless body inside the house. When officers arrived at the scene, they found him frantic and screaming.
What did your son wear?
He was in jeans and a gray t-shirt. He's got short, brownish hair.
So, jeans, a gray t-shirt, short brown hair.
She ran into the backyard. I tried to follow her. She jumped the fence and ran. She shot me
She
in the
jumped.
neck. It's okay.
Does she still have the gun?
It's on the kitchen counter. I think there's one light round left in it. I'm still under. I went in the back door. She tried to shoot me.
Hey, I need some gloves. Hey, he's saying that she ran towards Magnolia Place. He's grazed, but he's too soon. It went through his shirt.
You got her right there.
Magnolia Place. They gave us subdivision.
She ran over the side back towards my vehicle. She might have looked around this way.
I looked back going back towards the pond right there. Hey, she does not have the firearm. The firearm is here at the house. Hey, he's been grazed, but he's too. He didn't really not get. She's laying on the floor with the towel. Does she have any kind of? What's her name? Bud?
Carly Gregg.
Carly Gregg. How old is she?
14. She'll be 15 next month.
Okay. Y'all do be advised, there's several firearms in the house. But the one that he's saying was used is laying on the table, but that doesn't mean she's not on it.
We don't know if she's gone. We couldn't.
All right, look at it. You going?
Yeah, I got it.
96 headed to you. some information from you. What is her name again?
Carly, C-A-R-L-Y.
C-A-R-L-Y?
Carly Madison Gregg, G-R-E-G-G.
G-R-E-G-G?
She's my stepdaughter.
Alright.
Her dad lives in Starkville, and we're having all kind of problems with him. He's
Okay.
drugs and
What is your name, sir?
Heath Smiley.
Heath Smiley? Okay.
She's getting back to that.
Alright.
Hey.
What's your wife's number? Name?
Ashley Smiley. Alright. Have you called her? Have you called her? Call her. Your wife. I did call her number twice and I ran in there looking for her. And then I went in the room.
Hey, how old is Ashley? How old's your wife?
40.
40?
If I leave, who's going to take care of my dogs?
So we'll take care of that, okay?
He can let them in the kennel.
We'll take care of that, okay? I didn't really get much from him because he's so, all he told me is she took, huh? Yeah, all he kept telling me was she ran out the back door, but the back door is deadbolted.
What's the easiest way?
Maybe he probably did kind of in the heat of things to try to keep from coming back.
Did he say the wife's name was Ashley?
Ashley? Yeah. Who needs it?
Ashley Smiley.
Ashley Smiley. I was she in the back bedroom.
Yeah.
Hey Tyler, the gun that's used is right there on the counter in the kitchen. No.
Nobody?
No.
So still alive?
Yeah.
My dust hit, huh?
Dad saw who. She's in here.
Also, no, it was a juvenile on the other side waiting for her. What? Oh, that's a little. You guys got his ass picked up? Yeah, I got him.
Sweet. Figure out where the fuck she's going. Now
This is Cops case.
hey, there's a bunch of gun cases and stuff laying right there. That closet's slam full of guns. So we know she may still have access to them. She's in there, Doug.
I'm not going to leave anything to follow through this.
I mean, I couldn't get up in the front door.
At 357, I don't think it is.
It's through and through.
That juvenile around here.
He was explaining something to me about the father, because he's stepdad too.
Okay,
Yeah. He said that they're having issues with that. Tell him me and Dustin's already cleared the house. Me and Dustin's already cleared the house. Me and Dustin cleared the house.
I'm talking to every closet, under the beds, everything. You know how juvenile hall will hide in the damn spot.
But Dad, he said she ran out the back door.
I know. But Dad might. You never know. Look, I want to go through the house and I want very politely. So I want to look under beds. I want to look in closets, behind clothes. Let's make sure she's not in this house before we exhaust a whole lot of it. You know how juvenile hall.
Me and Dustin walked through and cleared the house, but I mean,
Did you look under beds?
we didn't go that far. We looked in closets and stuff like that.
Hey, come in here. Yeah, I
quickly cleared it, but I didn't.
Yeah, let's hit all of it.
Clear. Hey. That's
mom and dad both what?
Okay.
Okay. And dad?
Dad's got it through and through in the shoulder. He's already in the ambulance.
Was it a 14-year-old?
Yeah, the 14-year-old. No.
Yeah, I found that out on Blake.
Yeah.
He said it's 40 years old.
Did y'all not hear break?
Yeah, I heard the break.
All right. Right. Who throws up?
With the horrifying truth revealed that Carly was responsible for the brutal shootings of her mother and stepfather, deputies quickly launched a manhunt across Brandon, Mississippi. The search was brief. Just 30 minutes after Heath's desperate 911 call, they spotted Carly not far from the crime scene. She was arrested swiftly and without resistance. Given the overwhelming evidence, including her stepfather's damning eyewitness testimony and the chilling trail she left behind, Carly was charged as an adult with murder, attempted murder, and tampering with evidence. Despite the mountain of proof, she pleaded not guilty to all charges.
I got her handcuffed. All right, sweetie. Look. Let me see him step out real quick for me. All right. Hey, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to move them around to the front of you, okay? I'm going to move the handcuffs around to the front of you. Okay. All right. All right, so what we're going to do here is we're going to swab your hands, okay?
Yeah. Fingerprints.
Right. Now, well, I'll ask you a bunch of questions, but obviously you fired with a pistol, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Alright, look. I need you to hold your hand out like this. I'm going to do your right hand first, okay? That's your right hand. Just like that.
Swab up here.
What is this?
It's a GSR. It shows which hand did you shoot with?
Okay.
Which hand did you shoot with? Alright,
I'm going to go up.
flop the hand, turn the hand over,
Turn it over.
rub on the outside part around the knuckles.
What do you want? What do you want kids from?
I guess you can put it in my vehicle with my key. The key fob is in my left pocket.
Alright, so go ahead and take. Alright.
Is my stepdad okay?
I don't know, baby. I can't talk to you about
Oh, here. I'm sorry.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
5 months after her shocking arrest, Carly was offered a plea deal. 40 years in prison. In a surprising twist, she declined, opting to face a trial that would reveal the complexities of her life. The prosecution painted a damning picture of Carly, alleging she led a double life. On one hand, she was an academically gifted student with stellar grades. On the other, she was a rebellious teen defying her mother and stepfather by dating against their wishes and experimenting with vapes. They argued that Carly showed no remorse, driven solely by a desire to eliminate her mother and live free from constraints. In contrast, the defense sought to dismantle this narrative. They portrayed Carly as a deeply loving young woman caught in the throes of a mental health crisis. They claimed she had suffered a breakdown that went unnoticed by her family and friends, who failed to recognize the signs of her distress. A forensic psychiatrist testified on her behalf, revealing a history of trauma, including the painful knowledge of her biological father's abuse towards her mother and the emotional void left by his absence during visitation. This starkly contrasting portrayal left the jury grappling with a critical question. Was Carly a cold-hearted criminal or a troubled soul pushed to the brink?
I know it's been a long morning for you all, so I will try to do this as briefly as possible. This is not a whodunit case. We know who took action on March 19th to bring about the death of Ashley Smiley and the injuries to Heath Smiley. However, This is a why case. Why did it happen? Why did this exceptional child with no history of violence, who was loved by her friends, her teachers, her parents, who had a good home life, who loved her mother, why did she shoot her mom? Why did she shoot at her stepfather? The state would like you to believe the answer to those questions don't matter, but we know better than that. The answers to those questions is why we're here today, and it's what you're here to do. We believe the evidence will show that there were 3 victims on March 19th. Ashley Smiley, Heath Smiley, and Carly Gregg. That they were all 3 victims. We believe the evidence will show that Carly had been suffering from a mental illness, that Carly was not aware on March 19th that she had a mental illness. We believe the evidence will show that Carly's parents, who lived with her, were not aware that Carly was suffering from a mental illness. We believe the evidence will show that Carly's close friends, who saw her at school every day, were not aware that Carly was suffering from a mental illness, because it's hard to look at a person and understand that they have a mental illness. It's hard to look at a person and know that they have a mental illness. That's why it's often referred to as the invisible disease. A person can exhibit symptoms of a mental illness without people necessarily knowing that they have one, or other people necessarily knowing that's what another person has. While the events on March 19th were tragic, the events on March 19th were not intentional.
Both the defense and prosecution called upon mental health professionals and specialists to address Carly's mental state and whether she had experienced a breakdown. One therapist, who had worked with Carly before the murder, testified that she had reported not hearing voices or experiencing any unusual sounds despite taking medication for her mental health issues. After several days of witness testimonies, including one from Heath Smiley, who spoke positively about Carly despite her attempt on his life, the jury finally began their deliberations. On September 20th, 2024, they reached a unanimous decision.
Please rise and come to the podium, along with your attorneys. All right, the verdicts appear to be in proper form. Verdict of the jury is count 1. We, the jury, find the defendant, Carly Madison Gregg, guilty of first-degree murder as charged in the indictment. Count 2. We, the jury, find the defendant, Carly Madison Gregg, guilty of attempted murder as charged in the indictment. Count 3. We, the jury, find the defendant, Carly Madison Gregg, guilty of tampering with evidence as charged in the indictment. Please be seated, Ms. Gregg. Ladies and gentlemen, the jury is custom for the court to poll the jury. I have to do it each time. And for each count, I'm not being rude. The quickest way for me to get through this is just simply point at you and you answer out loud. As to count 1, we, the jury, find the defendant, Carly Madison Gregg, guilty of first-degree murder as charged in the indictment. Beginning on the first row, ma'am, is that your verdict? Yes, sir, is that your verdict? Yes, sir. Ma'am, is that your verdict? Yes, sir. Sir, is that your verdict? Yes. Ma'am, is that your verdict? You got to answer out loud, ma'am. I'm sorry. Yes. On the back row, sir, is that your verdict? Ma'am, is that your verdict? Ma'am, is that your verdict? Yes. Sir, is that your verdict?
Carly was ultimately found guilty on all 3 charges, receiving a life sentence for the brutal murder of her mother and the attempted murder of her stepfather. In a heartbreaking turn of events, she not only ended her mother's life, but also condemned herself to a future behind bars, all at such a young age. The weight of her actions hung heavily in the air, leaving everyone to wonder what had driven her to this devastating point. Was it rebellion, despair, or a longing for freedom that spiraled into chaos?